Hello and welcome to the Intuitive Heart Healer podcast. My name is Valeri and I am your host, intuitive heart healer, energy artist, and spiritual guide. I hold space with love to help you to connect to your heart center so that you can connect greater to spirit and live a life full of love, joy, and happiness as you are guided by your intuition and higher self, helping you to heal and let go along the way so that you can ascend and become more enlightened. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to this week's podcast. I'm so excited for this week to talk to you about July's energy forecast and what the cards are saying about this beautiful energy. But before we get started, just wanted to remind you all that no matter what time you are listening to this, whether you're listening to it in July 2020 or you find it in September 2021, it doesn't really matter, because if you're listening to it at that moment, it's something that you need to hear. It's guidance that's coming to you at this time for a purpose. Whether it's you need to hear or learn from it, maybe there's tools or techniques that come through, whatever it is, it's what you need to hear right at this moment and right at this time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and let's get down to it. So July is a month about letting go and reimagining yourself and the life that you wish to create. It is a time to spend with yourself, to release all the old, all the limiting beliefs, all the things that are no longer serving you. It is the time for you to go deep into your heart center to reconnect with your soul. You know, I talking to Ursula about retrograde. She's always like, there are, and you know, we are in so many different retrogrades right now. Mercury's in retrograde. And as I was sitting here reflecting on these cards, I was just started writing down some words that resonated with what's going on. And I was like, oh, could it be all the retrogrades? Because they were all our words, which were kind of funny. It's release, reconnect, rejuvenate, rewire, revise, recreate, resilient. These are just some of the words I just start randomly writing down about some of the energies coming through for July. And so last week I sat down and pulled some cards, did a YouTube video. I will connect the YouTube video into the show notes. There may be some things that came through that day that may not be coming through right now that you may need to hear. So if you feel called to, go ahead and click the YouTube link and watch the video of the energy forecast. But I'm going to go through some of the cards and some of the things that I reflected on. There's another R-E word for you. Because this time is a time of reflection. It's reflecting on what you're doing, and based on the 7 of swords that I have. And for those that are not familiar with me and what I use the Thoth, the Crawley deck. I love this deck, so that's the deck I use. I'll probably put it in the artwork so you could see it. The 7 of Swords was the first card that I pulled. And what it tells us is that what we are doing is not working, and things are beginning to break down. So whether this is at an individual level or a collective level, this is what is going on right now. And if you look at it as a collective and you looked at things that are going on in the world, you can kind of see that. Our systems are not working. Our beliefs are not reflecting of what is true today, or maybe it is reflecting of what is true today. And that's something for you to reflect on. What is true? What is not true? What is true to you? What is your truth? Those are things for you to kind of reflect and look at. The 7 of Swords is really letting you know that your thoughts are getting in your way, that the beliefs that you have, the practices that maybe you've been doing, there's something that is not working. Some things that are not working. And things are beginning to break down and break apart. So really reflect on what that means to you, what that's showing you. Take a moment to see if you can shift into something else, or maybe you need to break it down a little bit further and find out where this is deeply rooted so that you can release it and let go and revise and rewire your own beliefs to what is true to you, what you truly believe. So let me just take a moment and talk about what I mean about what is true to you. And your truth may change. What is true to you right at this moment may not be true to you tomorrow at this moment. Because as you go in and you learn and you grow about yourself, or you receive guidance, or you learn from some exterior force, whether it's a person, a book, a show, a podcast, you may find that the truth that you believe in right at this moment, tomorrow is not the same truth based on the wisdom and knowledge that you have learned in that 24 hours. And that's okay, because we are ever evolving beings of love and light. And we are here to grow and evolve and not stay stagnant. So it's okay that the truth today is not your truth tomorrow. It's not saying that you're flip-flopping, like some politicians, are accused of flip-flopping, and, maybe they are. I'm not getting into politics, but it's where it shows itself the most, 1 minute they're saying this, the next minute they're saying that. You can look at many different things that have happened recently with the Black Lives Matter movement in the sports world, about how kneeling during the national anthem wasn't something that was allowed. And then a lot of sports changed that and said that the players can express themselves however they feel. It's not that they necessarily flip-flopped. It's just the truth of what they believed in. They received more wisdom and knowledge to have a different truth of what they are at that moment. And that's part of evolving and growing. So something that you said and recorded 20 years from now, and you see this happen with entertainers and politics and sports people, maybe in their 20s they did some stupid Twitter post or something, and at that time they may have believed that, and it may have been really hurtful for some people. Now that they evolved and grow and learn, that's not the truth of who they are. So should we really hold them back to who they were 20 years ago based on that? Or should we evaluate or reevaluate that person as who they are and allow that truth to be the truth of that moment? And to see the growth and to see the person that person has changed into. And it goes the other way. Somebody could be praising, some group, or, have a post where they believe in something, and now all of a sudden something shifted and changed, and what they believed in, which is something you really believed in them, is not the truth of who they are at this moment. Maybe they had some tragedy and lost faith in love and God and the divine, the universe, and now they're coming from this place of anger and hate, and that's okay, because that's the truth of who they are at that moment. But it's not a reflection of who they were 20 years ago, because we evolve and grow. So back to the Seventh of Swords, something that is happening right now is not working. So reflect on what that is so that you can make that shift and that change, and that you can grow and evolve into the beautiful being of love and light that you are. It's followed by the Princess of Swords. And the Princess of Swords is where we have a lot of troubles and worries. And this is a card of surrender. And unless you surrender to what is, surrender to what is going on, surrendering to how you feel, you're going to continue to allow this trouble, these worries to come in. And it'll start to feel like they're collapsing around you. until you begin to allow yourself to surrender. And when you take this with the Seven of Swords and you reflect on something that's not working, and then you surrender to the fact that it's not working, that's when you can make that shift and that change and be very powerful. But if you take a look and you reflect and you say, oh, this isn't working, but you still keep trying to make it work, it's not going to work. Things are going to start to collapse around you. You're going to have strife. You're going to have troubles. It's like every time this comes up, I remember that kids' peg game where you had like stars and circles and squares, and you're learning as a young toddler where to put these things, and you sit there and you keep trying to take the star and trying to put it in the square that's too small for it, and you're sitting there and you keep jamming it in, and it's not working. It's not gonna work. There's nothing you could do at that moment to shift that energy until you take it and say, this isn't working. Let me try something different. And then you try something different, and maybe that time you go to the star and it goes right in, or maybe the next time you go to the triangle and it's still not working. And that's life. That is what happens in life. Not every shift and change you make is going to actually necessarily be the right shift and change, but you're going to learn something along the way. So have the courage to step up and make that shift and change and try new things and gain that wisdom, that knowledge, and that love. And that could show up by getting angry and finding a way to use that anger into something positive and transform that anger into love. But have the courage to do it, to make that change. Have the courage to surrender to what is. Surrender to the fact that things aren't working, it needs to change. Surrender so you can learn the wisdom and knowledge of what the situation is showing you. The next card that we have is the Hermit card. And the Hermit is that card that says you need to take time for yourself. You need to spend time with yourself. You need to learn the new you, which is actually not the new you, because all of it is you. But you need to spend time in that heart center, going in and finding that piece of your soul, that piece of your soul from the beginning, and reconnecting to that piece of your soul, realigning with it, bringing all your wisdom and knowledge to it, reflecting, reconnecting, recentering, and recreate you. This is the time to really spend looking at all parts of you, every single layer of you, and finding out what part of you that you may be missing, what part of you you're willing to give up. And the reason why I say that is because the final tarot card that I pulled for this month is the Death card. And the Death card is the card about dying and being reborn. And it doesn't necessarily mean a physical death. This isn't a card that says you're going to die or necessarily somebody in your life's going to die. This is a card that's saying that part of you, your belief, your physical environment, your weight, whatever it is, part of you needs to die. Part of you needs to shed. Part of you needs to go away so that you can be reborn from those ashes. Life is a cycle of deaths and rebirths. July is that cycle of death and rebirth. At the end of July, if you take this time, spend this time working with these energies, you will die. The person that you are listening right now, not a physical death, will die. And you will be reborn into new you, which is the you that is still there, with new beliefs and new ideas. creating what you desire at this moment, being reborn, rejuvenated, refreshed, so that you can move through this beautiful light and come out brighter, full of more love, ready to conquer whatever is put in front of you with no attachments, no expectations, no judgments. Maybe you're not quite there yet, but maybe you're a little bit closer. Wherever you're at, that's okay. But this month is a month about being rebirthed into a new version of yourself, which is that version that's already there. But it's for you to recognize it within you so that you can project that outwardly. It's such a beautiful, beautiful message for this month. And one of the things that is really important, and if you haven't watched if you haven't listened to the episode before this about protecting your energy, you should go back and listen to it, because that's really important to do, especially in this time period, is to continue. I believe it's important, if you've heard me before, to do it all the time, to protect your energy, protect yourself spiritually. The most important thing that I'm being told is that you need your own private quiet time. You need time each day just to sit with yourself. So you need to block off time for yourself. You need to slow down. This is a slowing down period. This is not something you want to rush through. This is something that you want to take your time moving through, allowing yourself to experiencing all those feelings that come up, reflecting on what they mean to you, and learning from them to move on. But you need to feel them. You need to experience everything that you're going through. You need to reconnect with yourself as you begin to let these go. And the only way for you to do that is to take this alone time every day for yourself. So block off this time, whether it's in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon. Disconnect from your phone. Disconnect from the people around you. Create your sacred space. Protect it, open it up, close it back down when you're done. Highly, highly, highly recommend it for you all to do this so that you can move on. And be compassionate with yourself. That if for some reason one day it doesn't happen, don't judge yourself, don't beat yourself up. Just get back on the horse and do it again the next day. Continue the practice. So super important. My guides cannot express this enough, that this quiet and alone time is so important for your growth. It's so important for your connection. It's so important for you to figure out your own individuality in this collective consciousness. That will make the collective consciousness grow stronger. So what you do for yourself, you are doing also for the collective consciousness. So this is not selfish. This is selfless. This is something you can do to help support the world. So very important. You want to make a difference? This is the time to do that with yourself and make that big shift and make that change. And the last card that I pulled is from Diane Cooper's Dragon Oracle cards. And the last card I pulled, it's the Earth and Water Dragon. Creates the foundation for new growth. A fresh start is coming with new opportunities. Nurture your ideas and harvest the abundance. And this is the card that I chose for the overall energy guidance reading. What is the card that ties this all together? And could not pick a more perfect card, because this is what you are doing in July. You are creating the foundation for your growth. You are creating the foundation for the growth of the collective, for the growth of the world. A fresh start. The final card was the death card. That is your fresh start. That is the fresh start in this world. Creating the new opportunities. Harvesting your abundance. With what's going on in July, I can't wait to see what beauty you create for August. What beauty you create for the collective consciousness, and what beauty you create for yourself. So please take this time in July to work through this. It may seem hard at times. You may get angry, you may get sad, you may want to cry, you may want to fight, you may want to resist. Whatever it is, honor you. Honor what's coming up. Allow that to be your truth. And continue to go in, continue to reflect, to continue to allow yourself to grow. I know you have it in you to do this. I know how amazing and beautiful you are. I am here to hold the space and help you grow with love from my heart. And I look forward to seeing all that you guys do in the month of July and after with this beautiful energy. Thank you so much for listening today. Thank you for spending your time and allowing me to hold this space for you. If you would like to work with me, if you need some assistance in moving some of these energies through, I would be more than honored to be there to hold that space, to help you through it with love, helping you connect to your heart so you can connect greater with spirit, so you can live a life full of love, joy, and happiness, guided by your intuition and higher self. You can check me out at intuitivehearthealer.com. Make sure to join my Facebook group, Intuitive Heart Healer. I do daily guidance for you all every day, just about, and always there to lend my support with any questions that you have that come up. Until next time, spreading all my love to you. Go out and spread love in this world. See you real soon. Bye-bye for now.